This is an NBC News special report. Here is Garrick Utley.
Good afternoon. The United States this afternoon acknowledged that a missile from an American ship in the Persian Gulf shot down accidentally an Iran Air passenger plane with 290 people on board. All of those people, passengers and crew, believed to have died in the crash. At the Pentagon, Admiral William Crowe, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said the missile came from the missile cruiser USS Vincennes, which thought it was under attack by an Iranian F-14 fighter jet.
Further data and evaluating information available from the Persian Gulf, we believe that the cruiser USS Vincennes, while actively engaged with threatening Iranian surface units and protecting itself from what was concluded to be a hostile aircraft, shot down an Iranian airliner over the Straits of Hormuz. The U.S. government deeply regrets this incident.
The plane was on a flight from Iran across the Gulf to Dubai when it was shot down. We have some videotape from Iranian television recorded at the site of the tragedy. This was shown on Iranian television tonight. It shows rescue parties, Iranian boats, recovering some of the bodies from the water. Again, 290 people died when the plane crashed into the waters of the Persian Gulf after being shot down by a U.S. missile from the USS Vincennes. Our Pentagon correspondent Fred Francis is in Washington in our bureau there. Fred, many people remember when KAL 007 was shot down in 1983 by the Soviet Union. It was said that kind of an accident could not happen with our equipment because it was so sophisticated. Do we have any idea what did go wrong today?
Well, that will be the crux of the investigation, Garrick. The United States, the USS Vincennes, the most sophisticated missile cruiser, not just in the U.S. fleet, but in the world today, is supposed to have the kind of system, it's called the spy radar system, which can discern at 250 miles range the difference between an airliner and a fighter. But as Admiral William Crowe, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, said, the difference in this case was that an aircraft flying outside its air corridor, he said, at a constant bearing and a high speed coming right at the ship, that the captain of the ship thought his ship was threatened and fired. And underlying all of this is the memory of most captains in the Persian Gulf of the USS Stark in 1987. The captain of that ship and the combat control system of that ship watched an Iraqi fighter coming straight at it for several minutes. And when it got within 10 miles of the ship, it still did not turn on its weapon system. And of course, the Stark was hit. 37 U.S. sailors died. And ever since then, U.S. captains in the Persian Gulf have said they will not wait that long again. This ship, at 10:47 Persian Gulf time, was closing on the Vincennes, the A300 Airbus. The captain of the ship repeated his warnings to identify yourself. Admiral William Crowe of the Pentagon said the Iranian airliner did not identify itself. And then within the course of 7 minutes from the time that the airliner was spotted and the time the Vincennes fired at it, there was 7 minutes time, and the airliner was within 9 miles of the Vincennes, and that's the heat of combat excuse given by the Pentagon.
But, friend, a key question here is going to be, was there an F-14 there coming in on that American ship, or was it the Airbus and someone mistook it?
Well, Admiral William Crowe, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, said, Garrick, that there was some classified data that he could not reveal that gave the captain of the USS Vincennes every indication that it was not an Airbus but an F-14. Now, maybe the United States had some intelligence that an F-14 was going to be in that area. Maybe the United States just assumed that because this Airbus took from a similar base that it was an F-14. The Pentagon will not reveal what it says was classified information telling it was an F-14. But again, the Aegis system, the spy radar system, is supposed to discern the difference between a large airliner and a relatively small fighter coming straight at it. And so that will be the crux of the investigation on why this airliner was shot down. Again, Garrick, this is not similar to the KAL 007, simply because this was a combat situation, and of course the Korean airliner was shot down in something completely different.
Fred Francis in Washington, our Pentagon correspondent, thank you very much for your report this afternoon. Again, whatever caused it, it was a tragedy. The Pentagon says the mistake will be investigated, and we will have full coverage this evening on NBC Nightly News. I'm Garrick Utley, NBC News in New York. We'll have more coverage from Wimbledon after this.